Well, I don't know how I feel about this. One second. Ooh, that's how I do it. Balance. Balance. Oh, it didn't. I can't believe it didn't stop. Is she gonna edit that out? I can't rotate the camera, can I? I cannot believe it did that. Okay. I don't even know how that happened. I need to buy a lottery ticket after that. It's still recording. Oh my God. Y'all should see my janky setup that I have to record out here. It's my own fault. Let me not lean stuff up against it anymore, and maybe that won't happen again. That was kind of crazy. Okay, so other stuff that I need. I also needed a new hilt. So this is going to be my hilt. This one is metal. The hilt for my loner sword, plastic. So I'm not going to be using. I like this better. One, it's pretty, and this one actually weighs about as much as this hilt. So why not have the metal one? And of course, I'm going to have to clamp it down. So let's build a sword. This is going to be interesting. So a couple of things I've got to do and make sure I do it correctly. So when you look here on the sword, like down here at the bottom, this tape here is actually covering up a clamp. And there's a clamp here that keeps the sword link in place in the hilt. So I have got to make sure that I get that done correctly. So why are you building this yourself and let somebody else do it who's an expert? Because the only way you learn is to do it. I got instructions before I started doing this, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so here is, boom, sword. So this, upside down, this will now sit in here. So I've got to clamp it at the top and at the bottom, and she's not going to touch where this iPad is sitting again. I'm not going to get lucky and this thing not break twice. So, all right. So I got to clamp it on both ends. So when I say clamp, it's these O clamps, or are they called C clamps? I don't know. It's a clamp. I found out what to get from the husband, and we went to the Home Depot and got them. So this will go here. And this will be the first clamp that goes in place. And I also need one on the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and stick it in there. Ah, this is awkward. Can you tell she's never done this before? This is either going to be like a triumph or a tragedy tonight. I don't know which. So there's like a little metal piece sticking out here. I need to put this over that. That way it clamps down tightly. And to make that work, come here. There we go. Haha. I have my socket set. Ah. Everyone needs a socket set. I already figured out which socket I needed, so let's see here. Am I tightening or loosening? I think I'm going the wrong way. Other way. Tighten. There we go. Nope, that's a lie. I was going the right way. Is this the right size? Nope, it's not. 1 second. Let me get the right size socket. I thought I had the right one. I prepared and everything. I was so proud of myself. Can you tell I've never done this before? It's okay. We're going to get through it. Okay, that's the right one. Okay, found the right one. Boom. Is that going to tighten now? Let me make sure. Yeah, that's the right one. Do this again. Yeah, pick it up. I think this is the hardest part, is getting this socket to tighten around the first bit of sword. There we go. Got it now. This is kind of fun, actually. I've never done anything like this because, in Taekwondo, we don't use weapons. Weapons are not a thing in that sport. So this is totally new for me. Now, I have gotten to practice like Tai Chi and Aikido and a couple of other things over the years, but not seriously. Taekwondo has always been my main martial art. And if you're chatting to me, I am so sorry. I am so involved in what I'm doing that looking at the chat at this very moment is going to be stupid. Why am I doing this online instead of the privacy of my own home? Because I am in my own home. But I like to show people what hobbies take. Some of this stuff is hard. And if you want to get into it, I feel like you got to show people what it really takes. Okay, so I'm starting to get it nice and tight. So I'm going to take the other O-ring and stick it on the bottom that I dropped before I get it too tight that I can't get it on there. Because I need one on both ends to keep this daggum sword in place. Cool. I'm actually doing this. Can you believe I'm building a daggum sword? I can't. This is not what I had on my bingo card for the year, but okay, so now I'm just kind of straightening it up so it's sitting nicely at the bottom of the hilt. Now it's fully tight knit. And if one of my knights from my local shire are watching, I hope you're proud of me because I'm out here doing the most. Cool, that feels good and tight. Now, how am I going to get my... Actually, that's pretty good. I'm not sure it needs the other one. My husband did say I did not need one on the inside. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put one in here anyway. If you're just joining me, I'm just building a sword. Exactly what the thing said. When you're getting into hobbies like this, sometimes it's hard to know what is the commitment. Not just time, but just stuff. And when I got into heavy combat fighting, I wasn't... having been in a martial art before, I kind of had an idea of what it was going to take, but this whole building weapons and stuff, this is new to me. This is completely new to me. So if you're interested in the SCA, welcome to the work. Same thing when I do building and painting. I'm not going to film every little thing I do because it's not all that interesting, at least in my opinion. But I think people should be able to know, hey, if I'm going to get into this hobby, what is my time commitment? What is the labor that's going to be involved? Shh, ASMR. I know she's looking raggedy tonight, but hey, we don't all look perfect all the time. My husband says I look perfect all the time, and I choose to believe him. There we go. Oh, that's looking pretty good, actually. All right. So, oh man, they might be proud of me at practice next week that I've done this. I kind of went into our group chat for practice coordination and told them I was doing this. So I'm hoping that I get it done right. Yeah, that's pretty solid. Okay, so now this is going to be the sword that I use. So now I've got to make it safe. It is not safe right now. One, it's got these bits of metal hanging out on the clamp. That's unsafe. But just to compare, this was the loner sword I used a couple of weeks ago. This is going to be my new sword once I get it wrapped. You see how much, can I even get them in? Yes, so it's got a few inches. But weight-wise, they're about the same. This one's a little heavier because the hilt is metal, but for me, it's kind of perfect. Yeah, so I want to make sure that I wrap this correctly to make it safe because, I got to hit people with this. So I'm going to give this just a couple more tightens. Team tighten, go. Yeah, I don't think it'll tighten anymore without busting. That's the hard part about tightening stuff is can you take it to the point that it's going to break? But I think I'm okay here. So now it's time for this stuff. So you'll notice on this one, it's a different type of hilt. This basket hilt, the sword shaft came all the way through the bottom. So that's where he put the other clamp. I can't do that on this one. Different type of hilt. So now I got to tape it. This is that fiberglass tape. And it's going to go in 3 places around these 2 clamps, and then it'll hold my thrusting tip on. The reason that you want to use this stuff is it's more likely to hold those pieces on, and you want to make it safe. You don't want to hit somebody with a piece of metal. That would be really mean. Okay, you want to know what's hard? Finding the beginning point of this kind of tape. My God, where is it? I know, riveting content. Oh, I think I found it. I'm glad I just got my nails done because This would be impossible with the other nails I had. I don't like my nails super long because I do stuff. I like them pretty. I just don't want them long. All right, so I'm going to use the small thrusting tip. I'm going to tape that down here just so. Actually, does this one fit my sword? Yeah, it fits. It's fine. Oh, that's right. I'm going to wrap it in duct tape. No big deal. All right, so thrusting tip is getting wrapped. Okay, I'm kind of glad I did not do this in my office. I don't think I had the space to do this in my office. That would have been really difficult to do this in there. Plus, I'm going to be in here like all night finishing the painting. I don't have a ton left to do, but enough that I'm like, you know what? I feel like getting it done, and I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. Tomorrow is Easter. Happy Easter to everyone who celebrates. If you saw my last live, you know that it's very pro Easter candy, like super pro Easter candy. Christ died for Reese's chocolate. That's how I feel. Nobody come for me. It was a joke. Haha. Okay, cool. All right. I've gotten the taping of the tip started, so now I can finish. I had to go lay it down because she was making a mess. Yeah, so this takes a little bit of work. Having never done this before, I'm kind of proud of myself at how much I'm doing without assistance. I know my husband's watching. Hey, babe. To see how I do. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. So, making sure I get the thrusting tip well secured. I'm not going to show y'all how I'm cutting this because it ain't safe. And do as I say, not as I do when it comes to this kind of thing. You know what's funny? Okay, so I've got this EMT knife. I have two of these. One that lives in my car, my truck, and one that lives in my office. This is my office one. And typically, being a Southerner, I'll walk around with it clipped to my shirt, like all the time, depending on where I am and what I'm doing. I had somebody ask me if I was an EMT, which I get it, but I don't think EMTs have paint knives. I was like, no, honey, I got this on the Amazon, yeah. Like everything else. They sell knives like that on Amazon? Yes, they sell everything on Amazon. That's how this works. Okay. So I think I have safely attached the thrusting tip. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah. Okay, let me show you what I did. So now I have the rubber tip on here. So if I want to attack somebody and thrust, I can do that without destroying them more than I would have. Now, so that's firmly attached. It's also going to be wrapped in duct tape. Now I need to make sure that these are covered. That's super important. And we're going to use a little fiberglass tape for that. If I don't cover these, I could accidentally injure somebody. And I would not want to do that. Again, if you're doing a martial art, injury is always going to be a possibility. Doesn't matter what the art is. Even if it's an art that you don't practice with others, like say you're doing Tai Chi, you can still pull a hamstring. Nothing's 100% safe all the time. Nothing. So I'm going to wrap this really good before the duct tape comes on. And just to make sure that I don't accidentally hit somebody with a piece of metal. These are my painting overalls. I don't care if I get paint on them, mostly because I got paint on them once, and then I ordered a second pair that doesn't have paint. There we go. All right, that feels nicely covered. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off here. And now I do still need to cover this piece, not for anyone else, but for me, because that'll hurt me, and I don't want me to hurt. So I'm going to have to cut this in strips. Just cut some pieces here. This is so undignified. So undignified. But getting it done. All right. So I'm cutting a few little pieces at a time to wrap around the inside of my, there we go, of the tang to hold that piece of metal down. Because when you have the clamp, there's a little piece that pops up here. I don't want that to cut me. I mean, I'm going to be wearing leather gloves and gauntlets, but let's be real, when it comes to this kind of thing, you almost can't be too safe. So wrapping it in there. And again, I'm doing a few layers just to make sure it'll be okay. It's not bad. Not bad at all. A couple more pieces. More layers, more better. There we go. I think that'll do it because the rest I can duct tape. All right. Now comes, I think, the easiest part. Oh, man. This actually feels really good. Yeah. This is a good sword for me. I like practicing with a heavier sword. Everyone who tried my choice in sword blanks was like, those are really heavy. But heavy is relative. Because I know of someone who has a sword that's like twice as heavy as this one, and to them it's light. It might be because I have been moving furniture and lifting bricks since I was 12. It might be that. I don't know. But to me, it feels great. So now I'm going to make my sword pink. This is the fun part. Why is your sword going to be pink? Because I want it to be pink. And zero other reasons. So I've got pink duct tape. Let me start with the very, very top here. Good thing about duct tape is it's so much easier to rip. I don't need the knife to rip it. But I'm going over the, what's it called? The thrusting tip first, and then I'll start wrapping the entirety of it. I'm so proud of myself. I don't think y'all understand like how triumphant I feel right now. It is an Emperor's Children's sword, isn't it? I mean, obviously my life has a theme. Your life needs a theme. Everyone's does. Okay, so I've gotten the start of the wrapping done. So now let's just go all the way down. So from here, I'm just going to start wrapping. Wrapping the sword. She can't actually wrap the music. But I tell you what, who else is loving Eminem's comeback? I know I am. That's my whole childhood back to life. The duct tape is split a little bit because we use this to do the blade of another sword. And so my husband split it in the middle. But now I'm getting to the part where I've got like all of it available to me. There we go. Got it. Haha. Now the duct tape is going to add a little bit of weight to the sword, but there's no avoiding it. Ah! Come on. Ah, got it. Wrap, 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 and wrap it down. You can fight with a pink sword? Absolutely. The reason that most of them are like black and white is because that's like the most prominent colors of tape. But you can go get you some frog tape and wrap your sword. It's just got to be wrapped. So because splinters are a thing. You don't want to whack somebody and splinter them up. But you also have to make the very clear what is the blade and what is not. So I don't know all the technical terms because, again, this is not my original martial art. Every time somebody says something to me, I'm like, I'm going to need you to define that. Ooh, blue, gray, or bright blue, yellow. Maybe I'll do my other one in that. I haven't picked my my colors yet for the SCA. What is it called? The device in your colors. I got to work with our local herald on doing that. It was hard enough picking my SCA name. My SCA name is Cassia bint Mansour. Cassia is a word for cinnamon. And cinnamon was like a very rare, and valuable spice back in the day. And it became a popular name for girls because, rare and valuable. And then bint is an Arabic word for daughter of, and Mansour is victorious in battle. Nurgle. Oh, you nurglings. You nurglings are a mess. Someone's got to love Nurgle. Won't be me. Look, I'm not anti-Horus, but I'm also not pro-Nurgle. It's gross. Just that. He is a mess. Like, come on. Like, why does everything have to be so disgusting? The plague god. I mean, he lives up to his name. Can't fault him. He is exactly who he says he is. Man, this is harder than I thought it would be. I'm trying to get all the way down. Y'all getting some good ASMR out of this. I'm trying not to put splinters on my hand. I'm trying to make sure I double wrap over each layer so that my sword is nice and padded. But yeah, pick your duct tape. I can't wait to see the responses to this. Ah! That is like the most Nurgle thing ever. Jelly with a moth eating it out. That's bleh. I always wish that like Horus had fallen to corn instead. That's my headcanon. I know it's not the canon. I prefer corn and Zinch of the Chaos Gods. Even though I'm like very much pro Emperor's Children, I'm not pro Slaanesh. Slaanesh take it too far. Like, have you ever read any of like the parades of like the Emperor's Children and like what they get up to when they're like out there all being extra? It's like, okay, Slaanesh, settle down. We've gone too far. It's just, we're doing too much now. Getting there. Blood for the blood god. That is a great paint, though. You gotta love blood for the blood god. Especially like when I did my blueberries, the shiny ones, I used some blood for the blood god, like because they're all mismatched. But one, I put them in bloody snow, and against that turbo dork blue, the blood for the blood god stood out really good. Almost at the bottom. Then I just have to do the blade. I'm really proud of myself. I'm out here making a sword before I get to finishing painting this room. The paint job is actually really good. I'm very proud of myself painting in here. He picked the colors. I did not pick the colors, but you know, I'm pro color, so she had to make it happen. Okay. But I want to get his room done because we can't do other projects in the house until he moves into his new room. Or why not just leave the walls white? Come on. When you were young, did you want the walls of your room to just be white? Or if you could have had like a cool room, what would you have chosen? Cool room. I know, Fulgrim. Now, we don't rock with Lucius now. Lucius was too full of himself. All right. The sword is wrapped. I'm kind of stoked about it. Now I have to mark where the blade is. So looking at this one that I'm using as a template that I'm going to be returning next week during fighter practice, there's like a little piece of leather in here that helps keep a hold. So I'm going to cut that first before I finish wrapping this. So I brought my leather in here. Where's my leather? Or at least in my head, I brought it in here. If it's in the house, I'm not going back up there right now. Where is it? I didn't bring it down. Oh, girl, you were doing too much. Okay, well, I have to put my leather loop on. What that loop does is when you're fighting, you kind of put, you know, your hand or your thumb through, and it keeps you from losing your sword. You get better control. So I'll put my thumb strap in later. But okay, now let's mark the blade. Black duct tape. Let me make sure I mark it in the right direction. Let's see here. So it's straight on is the blade. Yeah. All right. That should be easy enough. Fall that way. I got to hurry up here so I can get to painting while I still have the energy. How are you going to spend your Easter? I'm going to be up until like 4 a.m. Actually, no, I've probably got about 3 hours of work left. So I took a nap when I got home from teaching Taekwondo this morning, and then just decided I want to finish. This is my first one I've done myself, my very first one. I've never done this. Yeah. So there's that. You got to start somewhere. Whew, 12 hours. I am lucky that I am one of those work from home people. Everybody doesn't get to do that. A lot of companies brought everyone back into the office. Plus, if you got like a blue collar job, you were never not at work anyway. Like you're a plumber. The only way to plumb is to go plumb. Yeah, you know what? The difference between LARPing is this. The LARPing weapons are actually foam. This is not foam. This is rattan. Um, you can hurt somebody with these. That's why we have to wear armor when we fight, because we have to wear full-on metal helmets. Like, it's not an option, because we can really hurt one another if we are not properly geared. So that's a big difference between us and LARPing, which I have no tea, no shade to LARPing. Do what you do, because this is not for everybody at all. This is not a sport for everyone, and everyone doesn't even practice it the same who does this. Apparently, there are some kingdoms other than ours who hit way harder than we do, and we hit pretty hard. So here we go. So I'm starting to mark the blade. The pink and black is kind of great. But pink is not a pre-17th century color that I can use in my device, and it makes me sad. Let's see here. Rip more tape. This is just Gorilla duct tape. It's true, purple is an option, isn't it? I've got a friend who is a really good graphic artist. He actually did the art for my YouTube channel. Ryan Anderson Art, RYNE Anderson Art on the Instagram. He actually has an art show next weekend, and I'm hoping to get to go to it in Nashville. But he did my art for my channel, and he's going to help me do my device because he knows all about the SCA and stuff. So once he's through with his art show, I'm going to hit him up to help me with that. Okay, now I'm going to come from the bottom with this. Whew. Hey there, if you're just joining, she's doing exactly what the title says. She's building her SCA sword. First time I've ever done this. And if you're intimidated to get into this kind of thing, I'm just here to let you know that if I can do it, you can do it. You can totally do it. I'm marking my blade right now. I am kind of really pleased with myself. I'm not going to lie. I'm like super pleased with myself. When you accomplish something that you didn't know if you could do it, you should take a little joy. Oh, I can paint that. It's just bare metal. I should paint it pink, shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? That's a good idea. Thank you. That's a really good idea. Just making sure this is thoroughly marked. Now, one thing you got to remember is that you will have to replace and rewrap over time. Hopefully, I'm a good 6 months to a year from having to do this again if I've wrapped it thoroughly enough. So that's one side of the blade. Wrapped. Looks kind of great, doesn't it? It's new and shiny. And now, just to do the other side. The rest of it I'll have to do in the house because I got to do the strap. Oh, yeah, I'm just getting tested next Sunday. Like, we have practice every Sunday, as long as there's not like a holiday or weather. And a lot of people do Easter. I live in the South, so Easter's kind of a big deal. I think it is in the Northeast, too. Easter's a big deal. All these Baptists. But, so we're not practicing tomorrow, but I'll have my own sword next week. It is heavy. Kind of like it. I just have to do more rowing and weightlifting. There is one knight who is helping me learn everything I need, and I'm hoping that he's going to end up one day being the knight that I squire to, which will mean that'll be the knight that I learn from specifically. But I am very fortunate that in our little shire, in our little corner, wow, I'm about to fall standing on one foot. Our little corner of the SCA, we have a lot of really good fighters. And they have all been super helpful in helping me learn how to do all this. And that's the thing, like the video I did yesterday, my impromptu when I was getting ready, be that person that makes people want to participate in your hobby. When you go to the game store and you look around, there's no one there cool to play with, then choose to be the cool. Choose to be the person that people want to come in. and hang out with. You know, today when I was doing my Taekwondo class, you know, I'm not there every week because I don't live there anymore. Um, but you know, they weren't being very good about the respecting of one another. So we had a chat about it, and I was like, "Look, y'all, the world is rude, and we got kids in here and everything else. We can't complain about how people act if we ourselves don't choose to, be that kind of civility that we want to see. Everyone's not in a good mood all the time, but dadgum, by doing this art, we are saying that we want to be better. So be that nice person. I've got a lot of nice people who are helping me, not just helping me in learning the art, but helping me in doing stuff like I need a leather gorget. There's someone who works with leather really well. He's going to help me make that. Someone taught me how to do this. My husband mostly, but a couple of other nights helped me learn what to do to make this work. Others help me figure out what I need for armor, how to find the right armor for me that's going to work for me. Because we're all built different. Most of the stuff is made for dudes. I'm obviously not a dude. So I have had to do a lot of hunting to get the stuff that I need that'll work for me. So if you want people to join in your thing, into whatever your nerdity is, be someone they want to be around. It's not rocket science. And if that's not you, hopefully you'll get adopted by a friendly extrovert. Like I'm your friendly neighborhood extrovert. And thrusting tip. I think I have to mark the thrusting tips. I'm going to do that real quick with a little duct tape so they know I've got one. This is going to be a deadly sword. It's heavy. It's super long. Kind of thrilled. And I'll do the rest of this probably after I'm done gardening tomorrow. Yeah. I can't believe so many people came in here. Told Gemini. It's okay. Sag Nation. We are extroverted extroverts who extrovert. I'm also the year of the dog, the water dog. So not only am I Sagittarius, already extroverted, dogs are real friendly. So, oh man, look at that. I did it. I totally did it. I am going to end up having to wrap the inside of this just for my own grip, but it won't be as thoroughly wrapped, obviously, as the sword. I've got my thrusting tip wrapped, but this is mine, and this is the loaner that I'll be returning next week. I'm going to put them both, one in each hand. Let's see here. Huh. Oh my goodness, it's like 4 inches longer. I did see somebody at a battle once. I think it was like last Labor Day, and they had a shield. Now, granted, I'm 6'1", so, but I promise you the shield that they had was big enough to come up to like here on me, which apparently is perfectly legal. If you can carry it, you can use it. So the length of this sword is okay. I love it. I might make a second sword. I might cut this down at some point, but I got to practice with it first. But yeah, this is good. So I did exactly what my title said. There was no clickbaiting. I built my SCA sword. What do you think? Did I do a good job? Oh, I'm a total Slytherin, 100%. I am a Slytherin, extroverted, but a Slytherin. And I stand proud. There were good Slytherins, Regulus Arcturus. And there were awful Gryffindors, Peter Pettigrew. So that's why you can't stereotype people. There's a good one in every crowd, and there's a bad one in every crowd, all right? You got to take people for their individuality. I think that was the lesson that was trying to be held. Okay. That looks good. Well, thank you for joining me for this weird live. If you catch this on the replay, my bad for all the weirdness, but I could have done this in the house and I chose not to. I am going to be a good mom and finish this painting so my husband and son can get to doing shelves and stuff and get his furniture in here. So I'm going to be up until stupid o'clock, but hey, it's what we do. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for joining me for this weird whatever just happened. And I'll see you in the next one.